Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into something that's been on a lot of people's minds. The latest economic data coming out of China, specifically from the 3IATLAS reports. There's been a lot of chatter and speculation online, and honestly, it's easy to get lost in the noise. So let's break down what this new information actually means, not just for China, but for the global economy that we're all a part of. We're going to look at the numbers, connect the dots, and figure out what this could mean for businesses, markets, and even our own wallets. First off, what are the 3IATLAS reports? Think of them as a detailed health check on China's economy, especially focusing on industrial output, investment trends, and trade. They provide a granular look that goes beyond the headline GDP numbers. The latest release points to a complex and evolving picture. For years, the story of China has been one of unprecedented, rapid growth. But these new figures suggest a period of significant transition. We're seeing a shift in several key sectors, and that's where things get interesting. One of the main points highlighted in the data is a change in domestic consumption patterns. After a period of uncertainty, consumer behavior is adjusting. People are becoming more selective with their spending, prioritizing value and essentials. This isn't just a simple downturn, it's a recalibration. For global brands that have relied on the Chinese market for growth, this means they need to rethink their strategies. It's no longer enough to just be present. They need to understand the new consumer mindset. This has ripple effects, influencing everything from luxury goods to everyday electronics. At the same time, the report shows a strong government push towards what they call high-quality development. This means a massive investment in technology, green energy, and advanced manufacturing. China is actively trying to move up the value chain, shifting from being the world's factory for low-cost goods to a leader in innovation. We're seeing huge subsidies and support for industries like electric vehicles, artificial intelligence, and biotechnology. This is a long-term strategic pivot. It creates new areas of competition, but also new opportunities for collaboration and investment for companies around the world that are in these innovative sectors. Now let's talk about the global supply chain, because that's where we all feel the impact. The data confirms what many businesses have been experiencing, a re-evaluation of supply chain reliance. For decades, the world has built incredibly efficient, but also incredibly concentrated, supply chains that heavily feature China. The recent data shows a trend of diversification. Companies are increasingly looking to supplement their production with facilities in other countries like Vietnam, Mexico, or India. This isn't about abandoning China, but about building more resilience. It's the China plus one strategy in action. This is a monumental shift that will reshape global trade for years to come, potentially leading to changes in the prices and availability of goods on shelves everywhere. So, what does this all mean for the global economic outlook? The idea that we all feared was a sudden, sharp downturn that would drag the rest of the world down with it. But the data doesn't point to a collapse. Instead, it points to a controlled, albeit challenging, structural transformation. The rapid, double-digit growth era may be over, but it's being replaced by something different. The fear of a sudden shock is giving way to the reality of a slow, complex adjustment. This requires a more nuanced understanding. It's not a simple story of decline, but one of profound change. This has major implications for investors. The old strategy of betting on broad Chinese growth might not work anymore. Instead, it's about being selective. The opportunities are now in those specific sectors that are getting government support: the green tech, the AI, the advanced manufacturing. At the same time, there's a need to be aware of the challenges in more traditional sectors like real estate and consumer goods that are facing headwinds. It's a stock picker's market, not a market you can buy into blindly. International investors are becoming more cautious, and we're seeing that reflected in capital flows. Let's consider the geopolitical dimension. Economic strength is closely linked to global influence. As China's economy transitions, its role on the world stage also evolves. The push for technological self-sufficiency is a direct response to global pressures and competition. This creates a new dynamic. Instead of just being a manufacturing partner, China is increasingly a technological competitor. This is reshaping diplomatic relationships and trade negotiations. The United States, Europe, and other major economies are all having to adapt their strategies in response to this new phase of China's development. It's a multipolar world, and this economic data is a clear indicator of that shifting landscape. So, to bring it all together, what should we take away from this new 3IATLAS data? The big, scary narrative of a sudden collapse is likely overstated. The reality is far more complex. China is navigating a major economic transition, moving away from an old model of growth and trying to build a new one based on technology and high-value industries. This process creates challenges for its own citizens, for global companies, and for supply chains, but it also creates new pockets of opportunity. The fear wasn't necessarily wrong, but perhaps it was focused on the wrong thing. The real challenge isn't a sudden crash, but adapting to a new, more complicated, and more competitive global economic environment, where China plays a different, more advanced role. Understanding these shifts is key to making informed decisions, whether you're a business owner, an investor, or just a curious citizen trying to make sense of the world. The global economy is a giant interconnected web, and a change this significant in one of its biggest hubs is bound to be felt by everyone. It's a story of adaptation, for China and for the rest of us. The coming years will be about navigating this new reality, finding the opportunities within the challenges, and building a more resilient and diversified global system. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope this breakdown was helpful in demystifying some of the headlines. It's a complex topic, and we've only scratched the surface. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into the economic trends shaping our world. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think is the biggest impact of this transition? I always enjoy reading your perspectives. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.